All right, welcome back, crime fighters. It's time for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County better and safer for all of us by helping us lock up some bad guys. I'm Chris Wright, your host, and I want to say thank you for the work that you did last week. We've got several more arrests, 4 more people found thanks to the information that you shared with us. We've been doing this for about a decade and a half, and you've helped us catch 4,226 people so far. So keep up the good work. It's working. It's making the county safer and better, and it's saving some taxpayer dollars as well. So we really do appreciate your help here. We've got a video that I want to show you here because we're all about safety for not only humans but also our furry friends. And the sheriff spent a little hot time sweating in his truck the other day to help make everybody understand how important it is to not leave your pets unattended in the vehicles. So let's go ahead and watch that video.
You ready to go for a ride, Coco? Come on, let's go. Load up. Hey, I'm Calhoun County Sheriff Matthew Wade. Me and Coco like to ride. She'll go on the boat with us. She's really my best friend. We go lots of places and enjoy hanging out. We even go to the bank together. And the courthouse. Sometimes, though, we have to run errands that require getting out of the vehicle for a little while. Sometimes, it ends up not being that quick. What if Coco left me in the truck while she ran errands? You might be surprised how hot it gets and how quickly it happens. Even when the outside temperature is only 70 degrees, the air inside a car can heat up to 89 degrees in just 10 minutes. And that's more than enough to cause heat stroke. At 80 degrees outside, you're looking at 99 degrees inside a vehicle in 10 minutes. At 95 degrees, it only takes 10 minutes to reach 114 degrees, and the temperature soars to 129 degrees in just 30 minutes. Dogs use evaporation from panting to get rid of excess heat, but it just doesn't work in a hot, stuffy car. If your dog's body temperature reaches 106 to 109 degrees, deadly heat stroke is imminent. Leaving a window crack really doesn't help much, and leaving the motor running is a bad idea. An unrestrained pet can accidentally put a car in gear. Leaving water in a car can help prevent dehydration, but it does very little to prevent heat stroke. Sometimes we see pets that have been left in vehicles, and we want to help them. So what should you do? In Alabama, there is no law protecting a person who breaks into someone else's car to rescue a hot animal. Some legislators are trying to change that, and there are also proposals that would make it illegal to leave your pet in your car. In the meantime, try to locate the owner or call your local law enforcement agency. Coco, sometimes it's best just to leave you at home where you're comfortable and cool, right? Give me a kiss. There you go, good girl. Good girl. I'm your sheriff, Matthew Wade.
All right, there. So remember, don't leave the pets in the hot car. It gets hotter than you think, so keep them safe. Leave them at home most of the time. If you can go out for a ride with them occasionally, that's fine, but most of the time, probably better to just leave them at home. And if you do see somebody that left an animal in a car that's looking like it's in a dangerous situation, call your local law enforcement and let them know. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back with the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, you want to help us catch some bad guys? Let's get started with this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Robert Kitchen holds the honor of being first this week. He is from Anniston, and he is wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance, use and possession of drug paraphernalia, and second-degree possession of marijuana. Rosalind Montgomery of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of services, first degree. Stephen Singleton of Anniston wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. Randall Jefferson of Pell City wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana, second degree, use and possession of drug paraphernalia, and carrying a pistol without a license. Terry Amos of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for third-degree theft of property. Douglas Robertson of Anniston wanted on bond revocation for trafficking in methamphetamine and use and possession of drug paraphernalia, also possession of marijuana, second degree. And Wilbert Dodd of Wellington wanted on a failure to appear warrant for domestic violence strangulation. That's just the first half of this week's lineup. We've got more bad guys for you here in just a few minutes. If you have any information about these cases, please call Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, we've still got some more bad guys for you, so don't go anywhere. We'll get back to that in just a few minutes. But right now, one of our favorite guests is returning. Trace Fleming is back with us. Good to see you, Trace.
Hi, it's so nice to see you again. Thanks for having me.
You had a good summer?
Oh my gosh, it's been so good and hot, but good. So that's been, I guess you have to kind of get over that when you're in Alabama. It's always going to be hot.
You know, it's actually been cooler here than it has been lots of other places. I've got a friend in Alaska that was complaining it was hot, and I thought, yeah, sure, it was 95 degrees there while it was 90 here.
Oh my gosh. I'm what you would call indoorsy, so if it involves air conditioning, I'm in.
There you go.
Good fan.
All right, well, the reason you're here is to promote an event that we've got coming up.
Yes.
Of course, you're working with Second Chance and trying to help make the world better for people who have had some really bad times in their lives. And let's face it, when we're talking to you, it's rarely about something that's happy and cheerful, but it is making the world better for some people who need some happy and some cheer.
Well, we try so hard. You know, Second Chance provides services for domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. And we provide those services all throughout Northeast Alabama. So that it often is frustrating to have to talk about it, but at the same time, we really do provide those services and they're necessary. And that's why we love partnering with different agencies, and that's one of the things that we're doing at the end of the month on August 22nd, is we're partnering with the Jacksonville Police Department to offer a training for law enforcement and for social workers in our community. All
right, so these are people that are going to end up dealing with and probably already are dealing with people who are victims. And they need to know, because victims of sexual violence are not the same as victims of other crimes. There's a big difference.
There really is a big difference. And at the core, those crimes are the person who's committing them, it's about power and control, so that's similar, but how we treat it needs to be different. So we have to treat sexual violence differently than domestic violence or child abuse or human trafficking or even elder abuse. There's commonalities, but there's a lot of differences too.
All right, so tell us about this training, who all is invited and why is it important?
Well, the training is called Navigating the Needs of Sexual Violence Survivors, and it's in conjunction and partnership with the Jacksonville Police Department. So law enforcement and social workers are invited to attend. The great thing, it's completely free, and there's also contact hours available for both types of professions. So that in itself is a huge benefit to both professions there too.
Yeah, they need to continue getting those contact hours, so that's a good benefit for them. So what's going to be happening at this event?
Well, we have so many great speakers, which I'm really thrilled about. We have Randy Mueller from the District Attorney's Office, and we just adore him. And then we have John Garlick from the Sheriff's Office, who we also adore, who's often on this show. And we have a group from Ashra Quran, which is a group out of Huntsville that works with immigrant survivors. So we're really excited about that. And then also the Alabama Coalition Against Rape, their presenters will be coming in too. So they'll be talking about diversity and inclusion, and we'll also be speaking about the different laws, and we will be speaking about elder abuse laws as well, and then also about navigating those specific needs like we talked about. So what would somebody need at the hospital, or to have services for therapy or support or court advocacy? We'll be addressing all of those topics.
You mentioned the immigrants as well, and that just brings something to mind that I'd never really thought of, and a lot of these things are things that most of us don't think of until something happens and we have to think about them. When you're dealing with a sex crime, it's already tricky enough. Yeah. You throw in a language barrier, now you've got a very difficult situation to deal with.
Exactly, and luckily our hospitals are able to provide translation services, and we try to work around those barriers too when we're there. But it is incredibly challenging for law enforcement, who I know are just trying to do their very best, but there is that barrier, and then also the barrier of what happens afterwards. So a lot of immigrant communities have a lot of fear about what could possibly happen to them next. And so we want to make sure that our helping professions can recognize that and then be able to better serve and by addressing those needs in the moment.
All right, so again, when is this going to happen?
It's August 22nd, and like I said, it's completely free. It's being held at the Jacksonville Police Department.
All right, and how can people get signed up?
They can either contact our office, or we recommend contacting the Jacksonville Police Department and either speaking to Jeremy Penny or Miss Liscombe.
All right, very good. We need to take a quick break. We will be back in just a moment with the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, here's the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. If you have any information about anybody that you see here, please contact Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. Henry Phillips of Lineville is wanted on a failure to appear warrant for distribution of a controlled substance. Wanda Moore of Atala wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. Jamie Simmons of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Trey Garland of Thomasville, Georgia wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of marijuana, first degree. Joshua McDonald of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of property, first degree. Jacoby Patterson of Talladega wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of property, third degree. If you have any information, again, please call Crime Stoppers. We want your information, not your name, and you could get a cash reward of up to $1,000. The number is 256-238-1414. Crime fighting is not done. We'll have some property crimes in just a few minutes that we need your help in solving. But right now we want to talk some more with Trace Fleming from Second Chance. We've been talking about this event coming up at the Jacksonville Police Department. That's specifically for law enforcement and professionals in this area. But we also have an opportunity for anybody that wants to, that has some qualifications, to get involved and help. And a lot of people are going to meet those qualifications. And it's amazing the difference that they can make.
Oh my gosh, yes. Second Chance is actively recruiting for volunteers for our sexual assault forensic exam team, which is we also call our SAFE team. These individuals.
Now that doesn't mean that you've got to do an exam, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
You're not
no.
performing a forensic exam. Just make sure we're clear on that.
I would love to clarify that. Yes, these volunteers provide emotional support throughout someone's process while they're getting a forensic exam. So they act as a friend, a guide, someone who can hold someone else's hand. Well, the medical staff does the work that they do. So the medical teams, they'll provide the exam. The SAFE team provides the hand-holding.
So let's think for a second about the last time we went to the doctor.
Yes.
And we probably have a doctor that we like, or we wouldn't continue going to them in most cases. But they may not necessarily be the very best at interaction, especially when they're trying to focus on the work that they're doing. Now try to imagine you're in the situation of one of these victims.
Exactly.
And that's the only interaction that you've got. You're at the most traumatic time in your life, more traumatic than anything you thought you'd ever endure.
Exactly.
And to have somebody there whose only concern is to help you through it, that's got to be invaluable.
It is so incredible to see these volunteers. I just cannot put into words sometimes, and that's funny for me, but they are truly remarkable individuals. These people get up in the middle of the night and go to one of our local hospitals, and then they make sure that someone else is being taken care of, that their questions are being answered, that they make sure that they have clothing, that if they need to have access to our shelter, they get it, and that they know that people in our community truly care about them in that moment and afterwards. So these victim survivors, these volunteers, they're just absolutely remarkable. And there is a training process. But most people can accomplish that training at home, which is really helpful. There's part of it that's in our office, and then there's a shadowing component.
We want to have a training process because nobody wants to, well, what would I do? The training process helps you know what you're not just going to be thrown into this.
Never. Our new volunteers always go out with a seasoned advocate their first couple times that they go out to the hospital, so no one ever goes out by themselves. And if for some reason after that training process goes through and they feel like that's not for them, there are plenty of other opportunities at Second Chance for them to volunteer at. But this is the primary one that we're looking for right now.
And not only is this helping the victims, but it's also helping the people who help the victims for their daily job every day. Your staff, they're out there dealing with this all day. And if we don't have a volunteer on call, then this call comes in and they've got to get back out there and do it. And we all know that we're all stressed enough at our work. Exactly. And you've got to have a break from this. You've got to be able to sleep and rest. So they need this help to be able to continue doing their jobs.
It is so true. Our advocates, they're such a great team of people, and they give and they give and they give. And I love that about them, but I worry too, because they are getting out and it becomes 24 hours a day. So having a volunteer come in and be able to take that call and go and so my advocates can make sure that they're okay for that night, that is tremendous. And that's an invaluable resource and service so that people can be giving back to the community. If
you've ever wondered, am I making a real difference in this life? Take this on and you'll know that you are.
I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't.
So if people do want to find out if this is a fit for them, without making a commitment, just see, hey, what's involved and would this be something I can do? How can they take that first step?
We would love it if they would give us a call, or at our crisis hotline number is 256-236-7233, and volunteers can be connected to us that way. Or they can email me, which is trace@secondchanceinc.org, or find us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is pretty active, and we often put education opportunities and training events for our volunteers up on the Facebook page.
All right, thank you very much. Please follow Second Chance Inc. on Facebook, and you'll see some great information on there on a regular basis. Need to take another quick break. We'll be right back with the Crime Stoppers segment of the show, and we'll have our crazy criminal of the week. You won't believe how these individuals went about stealing a shark. Coming up on... Now it's time for the Crime Stoppers segment of the show. If you have any information about these property crimes, please call Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. On July 25th of this year, a red Honda Rancher four-wheeler was taken from a residence on Highway 78 East. During the early morning hours of July 27th, surveillance shows multiple persons entered into a business's lot. A 2016 white Dodge 4500 Ram truck and a black 28-foot gooseneck utility trailer with zero-turn mowers were stolen. On July 27th, a home on DeArmonville Road was illegally entered. Nothing was identified as stolen. On July 28th, a steel string trimmer and a Briggs & Stratton pressure washer were stolen from a residence on Philadelphia Church Road in Piedmont. Thank you for watching these. If you have any information, please call the number on your screen, 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, for our crazy criminal of the week, you won't believe this one. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the image that we have for you here. What we have here is a good father who is pushing his baby around the aquarium in San Antonio in the baby stroller. Except that's not his baby in that baby stroller. It's actually a 1.5 foot long shark. Three guys went into the San Antonio aquarium. One of them reaches into the tank, pulls this 1.5 foot long shark out of the tank. They wrap it up in a blanket, put it into the stroller, and push it out of the aquarium, pretending that it is a baby. Now, of course, it was all caught on video. They got video cameras all over the place. They've been caught. The shark is back in the aquarium safely now. All right, and that's all the time that we have for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup and hopefully not pushing a shark around in a baby carriage on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.